Make sure. Okay, we are now recording. Hi, everyone. My name is Pat Mouye, and I'm the Study Abroad Coordinator here at UL Lafayette. I'm also serving as the Acting Program Director for our faculty-led programs. I also work with students who are interested in maybe doing a semester abroad or an academic year abroad. It just really, depends on, what the students' needs are. And then I'm going to take just a few moments for our faculty to introduce themselves.
I see most of the students here are my students,
Okay.
the Arabic class. I guess you guys know me well. Do you have any questions for me? So my name is Ahmed Beckett. I am, just in case, because this will be recorded. So for people who are going to watch it later, I am the Arabic instructor here at UL, and I'm also the site director for the Study Abroad program to Morocco.
Okay. Ramona?
Hello, my name is Ramona Meluchel, and I am an associate professor in French and Francophone studies here at the University of Louisiana at Lafayette. And I will be one of the two, organizers of this study abroad in Morocco, and the teacher of the Intro to the Arab World, Maghrebi Culture in Context.
Awesome, thank you. As I mentioned earlier, I oversee the study abroad programs, and we do have about 6 programs that we are working with this year in reference to, hopefully sending our faculty and students abroad this year. For those of you who don't know, that we were not able to go on our faculty-led programs the last 2 years, unfortunately, because of COVID, and we're keeping our fingers crossed and hopeful that it will happen this year. Naturally, things change, but things are looking good now. So we're hopeful, we remain hopeful, and y'all keep praying that we're hopeful on it. The program in Rabat, Morocco is something that, Dr. Beckett has been working on for a couple of years now. And that's going to be the focus of our discussion today with the recording that we're going to be posting, on this recording that will be posted on our website. We had included the program in Morocco in our 2021 programs, but just once everything got approved and we were ready to go, unfortunately, the decision was made that none of our programs were going to be able to go in 2021. So, this is really our first full-fledged attempt for our Moroccan program to go. So we thank Dr. Beckett because without him, this program would not be in existence. He's the one who began our Arabic studies programs in the modern languages department here on campus. So it all stemmed from there. So we're very appreciative about that. So what's going to happen is both of your professors are going to share information about their programs. And I'm going to ask them, different questions. Some of them we've covered in prior videos, but sometimes it's just really good for students to hear it from the faculty member. And I also want to emphasize that because it is a decent sized group, we have no qualms with you asking questions during the presentation, because that could facilitate, information going. That's sometimes the best way to have these types of sessions. So I am going to kind of step back a little bit for now. I'm going to cover some information later in the session just about the application process, the orientations, how should you prepare, that type of thing. But the first part of this session is going to be about the program itself, the courses, and what the faculty want to share with you. So how do you want to do this, Dr. Beckett? Do you want me to ask certain questions, or do y'all want to just kind of go with some of the things we covered in our last video? How do you want to do that?
Maybe you can do it with questions.
Okay.
And on the way, we can talk more about the most important things that can be covered. Yes.
Sounds good. Okay. Well, one of the first things I know that students want to know is that, what will your courses entail? And what types of sites will the students visit? Where will the classes take place? What would a day be like for students traveling there?
Okay, so it's a good question, and the students should know all this information. So first of all, we're going to be in a city that is called Rabat, Morocco, and we're going to an institution that has been teaching Arabic as a foreign language for students from the United States or from other parts of the world, especially in Europe, and that is called Qalam wa Lawh. And with going with this institution, that is one of the leading in teaching Arabic language or foreign languages in Maghreb or in Morocco. So we're also like, they are going to make their other arrangements for housing, for food, and for all of these things. The typical day will start by having maybe breakfast, because breakfast will be included like 7 days a week. And after having the breakfast, probably students maybe talking for a bit, and then we'll start the classes. So they will have at least like 2 sessions. And after the classes are over, students either can meet one-on-one with other students or assistants over there in the institutions. And that should be afternoon when they're done with the classes, so they can work on their assignments by themselves, or they can have like seek some kind of like teaching assistance, some help from teaching assistant there. And after that, in certain days will be like daily activities, maybe doing like cooking workshops, maybe just go for a coffee shop, or going out for like exploring the marketplace, all the things. But during the weekend, we'll have 3 excursions. Every weekend we'll have one excursion. So 3 different places that we're visiting. We're visiting the Chefchaouen city, we're visiting Meknes, and we'll have the Sahara trip. So, and also there will be orientation from the first day, and there will be transportation taking students from the airport to the Qalam institution to their housing and residence. And also there will be some transportation taking the students the last day back to the airport as well. So I'm just like, remember, so these in regards to the language classes. So let's say this is, and if students took 101, so we'll do a placement test there for them, and it should put them in the right level. And that will be in accordance also with the university. If they covered 101 here, so they're gonna cover 102. If they cover 102 until 201, so they have 2 classes left in the language, and they're gonna cover these classes there. And one of the other good news that I would like to share with my students here, so over there we might also meet with other students from another institution here, from Georgia Southern University, so you'll not be by yourself in the class. So that is the plan, is to work with other universities who are interested in the same program to be at the same time, so they can be with the students in the classroom. And in regards to the humanities class, Dr. Ramona can talk more about the setting for her class and what the class will cover as well.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ahmed. So my course is sort of a continuation of this language experience, because what I'm interested in this humanities class is mostly of a cultural or a historical and social overview of contemporary Morocco and Maghrebi culture in general. So I'm assuming most of you are going to take the language classes, or at least participate in some of the events, in some of the activities provided by the language school. So we will see how we will work around those activities. And if you look at the schedule, the document that we have on the schedule is quite busy. So you have quite a few activities each week. So I'm thinking my class will be more like participating in all these events, and having readings to do, and having like discussion, like maybe at the end of the day, or maybe once a week, depending on how many activities we have that week. So it's mostly observational, but also an analytical approach. Like, how do we understand the culture by living it? Okay, you will have some readings pre-departure. So I'll give you some background about Morocco and the Maghrebi culture from a historical point of view, from a geographical point of view, from a cultural point of view. So you would have this base to start your observations on the culture. Once we are there. So as I said, the structure of the course is previous readings that you have to do before we depart, weekly meetings and discussions online on online forums, but also in person. Because we will be participating in these events together, in these activities together. I will be with you, so we can share our experiences and we can discuss about the cultural traits. And at the end of the trip, when you get back, you will have to do a research project based on your observations. So you would choose a topic like the cuisine or life, or I don't know, marriage, religion, any topic that interested you, and you would go in depth and you will, do a bigger research project, and that will be the main focus of the course. The main grade will come from this research project that you'll come up with at the end of the class once we return, to the United States. So this is it's a general description of the course. I'm not sure what questions you might have at this point, so I'm waiting for you to ask us more questions, like what exactly, I don't know, what would you want to know more about this program?
Well, if they don't, I mean, for the students, keep thinking about questions, because we do want this to be a Q&A, because the most important aspect of today is that we're covering information, but I know a lot of you may have heard some of this already, but we want to make sure that your questions are answered. So, start thinking about those questions. But in the meantime, I'll go ahead and present some things to our professors while you think about those questions. Sometimes students want to know, how should they prepare for the excursions? How should they prepare for the courses? I know y'all shared a little bit about what's going to happen, but, in reference to, what kind of attire should they wear when they're at these excursions, in that regard. And we're going to talk about packing later on, but just for you to know, what kind of atmosphere is it going to be like? What types of supplies might they need in relation to the coursework, and if they're out and about for, lengthy periods of time during the day, how should they prepare for being out and about all day, like drinks and snacks, those types of things. So, kind of help them out in knowing what should I be thinking about when I'm out and about. Could y'all, help with that?
Okay, I think I can answer some of these questions here. So first of all, like preparing for the classes, the students actually, they don't have to bring their own books, although we're going to use the similar materials over there, but the rent for the books will be included in this program. So you don't have to worry about missing your book somewhere or carrying your book. So you can keep the weight for something else, for extra snacks that you like to bring from the States with you. So you can keep that. So in regarding to do like, in regard to food like, talking about like, if we're talking about Moroccan breakfast, for example, I haven't been to Morocco yet, so I'm excited about leading this program with a great friend of mine from Morocco. He's the professor of Arabic at Georgia Southern University. But I heard the Moroccan cuisine, even I tried some Moroccan dishes over here, they are the best, whether during breakfast or during lunch or during dinner. So the food, it should be like something light, in the morning could be some tea and coffee will be offered for some people who like to drink coffee or tea. It's up to them. And then we'll have lunch break over there. So during lunch, we'll also try some of the Moroccan dishes or the Moroccan food during lunch. To be more specific, I cannot tell like what will be offered in lunch 5 months from now in another continent, in another institution. But I can tell you the Moroccan food that I have tried so far anywhere here in the US or out of the US, it's delicious. So kind of like dressing, it should be during summer. So you should have like some comfortable clothes for you. But if we're talking about clothing during the excursions, maybe when we get closer to the program, and I want to see like this is going to be like more specific to the students who sign up for the program, so we can have like all these sessions, intensive sessions about like giving more details about the excursions. Okay, for these excursions, If you need something from the US, it's better to carry it with you. This is what you need to carry. Or if other things that you don't need to carry will be provided before the excursions. We'll also let the students know about that. But this is going to be exclusive for the students who are signing for the program. So we're waiting for that first.
All right.
Yeah, if I can add to that, I mean, for my class, I would think if I were my students, I would bring a notebook or something that where you can write your, thoughts and ideas. I know that most of you prefer to have a computer with you to bring your laptop. I mean, you can always do that, but I would suggest you to leave it in the room because it's hard to carry the computer around, and we don't really need it. You don't really need any at any point to type anything down. Just noting your ideas would be good. Yeah, like just be ready to to write down everything that you observe, because all these details are important in the discussions. And also, I think water is important because thinking of Morocco, Morocco is a country where it's almost always hot. So I imagine June will be already hot, and I'm not sure how, if we have air conditioning everywhere, like we shouldn't expect to have the same conditions that we have in the United States. So water or something light, wearing something light, wearing, materials that absorb, the sweat and like make you feel cooler would be a good option for you.
Thank you so much for mentioning the air conditioner, because that is something, and again, that'll come up, in our meetings in the spring. But that is, a little bit of a shock for our students who travel on quite a few of our faculty-led programs, that the air conditioners don't exist in all locations that you visit. So it is somewhat of an adaptation. But you'd be surprised how well you adapt after a while, just because you're there, and it's just awesome that you're experiencing that. Now, I know y'all spoke about the fact that they're going to have the weekend excursions. But, a lot of times students want to know, are we going to have some free time of sorts? So, what might their weeknights be like? Will they have some opportunities, to kind of go and venture on their own a little bit? So maybe if y'all could share that with them.
Okay, so I don't think that we're taking or we're accompanying kindergarten or kids from daycare to this trip. So we're taking adults and college students. So whatever we stick doing like as part of the group or classroom, so we're doing it as a group. And if they want to explore certain places like on their own, so they will be free to do that. However, we'll also ask or advise the students, hey, how about just like discuss with us where you're going to go? So at least we have an idea where you're going, just making sure that we're keeping an eye on and tell you if these places like it's safe to go in this time or not, and all of these things. And if you go, it's better if you go at least with someone else or go in a small group, just making sure that we keep an eye on each other during that program. So they will have some kind of freedom of course, but it will also having like make sure that everyone will be safe doing their own things during traveling and during this program.
Yeah, I agree with Ahmed. I think you'll have opportunities to go and explore, but you shouldn't go by yourselves. You should always be in a group, and you should tell us where you're going, so we can keep track of you. If something happens, we can find you quickly. It's not unsafe. I'm pretty sure Moroccans are very nice people and very friendly, but just to be on the safe side, I wouldn't go as a single woman by myself anywhere at night, for example. So I imagine you would feel a bit awkward too, in certain circumstances.
And to add to that, what y'all have shared, it's exactly what we ask of our program directors and faculty, just so we have an idea of where our students are. It's still a good idea for us to have an inkling of where students are at any given time. Naturally, as they said, we definitely want to treat you as adults because you are, but we also need to make sure that, we are in tune to what could happen to students, in the event of a natural disaster. We want to make sure that we are able to, locate everyone at any given time. So that's why we do it, just to play it safe in that regard. But once you arrive and you get a feel for the place a little bit, people tend to get a lot more comfortable pretty quickly. Initially it's that culture shock of like, I'm not sure where I'm supposed to go. And then within a day or two, a lot of times our students have already adapted and, they're ready to go. But again, as an office, we ask that of our program leaders as well. Now I know y'all covered this just a little bit, and you may have spoken with them individually already, but perhaps give them an idea of, what will be required of them in the coursework, such as, assignments, exams, blogging, papers, to give them an idea of what's going to be expected of them in reference to coursework, because of the fact that they're not here on campus and they're accustomed to that traditional way of doing things in a course. But when you're abroad, it's very different because your classroom is the city itself, your experiences out there. So can y'all share a little bit about, what's going to be expected of them in reference to earning their grades, earning their credit hours?
Okay, I want to speak about the Arabic or the language courses here. So it will be something similar to what we're doing during the semester, but it will be kind of like shorter or more intensive here. So students will take homeworks like every day. They will have assignments. Even here in class, we do assignments every day. Because learning a new language requires practice and requires these assignments so you can achieve the objectives of the course. There will also be some quizzes. And during, like, let's say we're having 4 quizzes during the semester here, so might have like 4 quizzes over there throughout the month. And also will be a final exam, and we'll also ask the students to do presentations or project, the final project. So it will be exactly similar to what we're doing throughout this semester, and quizzes, assignments, exams, and final project and final exam as well. But this is gonna, instead of happening over like the semester, it will be happening throughout these 4 weeks. That's related to the language classes. So Ramona can speak more.
Yeah. As for the humanities class, as I mentioned before, there will be some readings that need to be done. So probably I'll have to find a way to, evaluate your understanding of the readings. So maybe a short quiz before we leave or something like that. Then we'll have forum discussions and face-to-face discussions. So those will be part of the participation grade. And the final research paper that will be 30–40% of your grade, and that will be due once we return. So you have time to actually, put your thoughts together and write the essay once you get back to the US. So you don't need to worry about that while we are in Morocco. So for Morocco, do the readings prior, participate in the discussions, and take notes and, research the topic that you're interested in further.
Okay, thank you. I know that many of you who may be in attendance today are very familiar with Dr. Beckett and, have maybe taken some Arabic courses before, and then maybe not. So Dr. Beckett, could you share, since this is going to be posted on our Moodles, on our website, what do you want to share with the students that may not have considered going to Morocco, may be hesitant to go because they don't know the language, and there's some hesitation because they just don't know a lot about it, but it's piqued their interest? What advice can you provide to them about that?
This is a great question, Pat, because I usually, when I tell the students about the importance of the Arabic language as considered as a critical language, there is always demand for people who know the language, or at least know a little bit of it, or at least started their journey learning the Arabic language. So if students who are interested in the Morocco program, they have no clue about the language and they are afraid. So I tell them, I highly encourage them, just go apply for the program, get out of your comfort zone, add extra or new language or new skills, because now the employers of today, what are they looking for? Students who are learning, having new skills or extra skills, like they know another different language or a critical language, even if they're not going to use that language in their work, but at least showing the employer they are capable of learning new skills and adapting to new lifestyles, especially when they show also to their employers that they traveled abroad. These are like one of the leadership skills that people looking for, like the cross-cultural understanding, right? And when they prove that by living or adapting to a different lifestyle, so this is something is very important. And I'll tell them also, don't forget about Morocco or about Morocco. It's a very beautiful place. You can see the marketplaces, you can see ancient city walls. You can, it's on close to the Mediterranean over there, and students will be able to immerse themselves into new culture. They can also enjoy a variety of dishes and food. They meet new people, make long-lasting friendships, learn the language, and also discover a lot of things about themselves. Because when you get out of your comfort zone, this is what you figure out, that you learn something about yourself and about other people. And I was telling some students in some history classes today, give yourself an opportunity to see the world with your own eyes, not with somebody else's eyes. So there's like tons of benefits to look up, like what are the benefits of studying abroad. And also, like when students graduate and they want to travel abroad, I don't think that we'll have a lot of opportunities to do that because they already like have some kind of commitment. But the best time for students to travel abroad is during college time. And here is an opportunity that traveling abroad could be a life-changing opportunity. And tell the students, hey, take an advantage of that. You don't know what will be the next step in your journey, educational journey or professional journey, or even personal journey as well.
Awesome.
So, yeah, I'll tell them, just highly encourage you, go apply for it. Even you have no clue about Arabic, or you know a little bit of Arabic, it is not just about Arabic. It's more than that, far more beyond than that.
Awesome. Now, just in case, again, for those students who haven't attended and weren't able to attend today and they want clarification, when they're submitting their application, how should they list their courses? Would they list them because, Arabic 101 and Arabic 102 and then the humanities? Can you share a little bit about that? I know that you said that they're going to have to take placement exams, but, they are going to have to complete the application in the office. So just clarification on how they should list the courses on their application.
Okay, so it depends on what language courses or classes that they finished before. So if they finish 101 and 102, so now they will sign for 201 and 202. If they finished up to 201, so now they will register for 202, and also we're looking for a course that is conversation class that they can take. So once we need just for them to submit the application first, and we'll work with all the students if they finished, let's say, the 4 language classes. Now whatever left, or it's going to be just the humanities course, and now they are going to take 2 more classes. So we'll do with these cases, we'll deal with the students case by case.
Okay.
So they will reach out to me or Dr. Mona, and we can discuss it with them, and we can see what courses can fit with the schedules based on the courses that they covered so far.
Great. And I'm glad you mentioned that. So what I will do, because they're gonna run into a little bit of a snag with the application because they're required to put course names and numbers.
Right.
So just for students to know, so I would say, make sure you place the humanities 300 level course. And then I would say, based on your level, go ahead and put, Arabic 101, and then the next course, Arabic 102. And then if you're a little more intermediate, then Arabic 201, Arabic 202 on the application. Then, the faculty and myself will work with you all as students to make sure that we've actually placed them in the correct courses through the university system. How does that sound? Will that work? Okay, just want to make sure they're clear on that, because like I said, they have to answer that, each of the areas. So I just want to make sure that, the students are clear on that. So cool deal. Okay, I think my last question to y'all would be, and it's similar to the last question I asked of y'all, but it's more on a personal level. Like, we do encounter, I've been in study abroad for quite some time here on the campus. I'm from this area. Believe it or not, I haven't traveled much, even though I work in this position. And so I do encounter students that have not traveled a great deal. And, that's very, it's very common in the Acadiana area that not a lot of our students have traveled before. They've traveled domestically, but not necessarily internationally. So with you both as professors, having been from other areas, can you offer either advice, suggestions, calming the fears, but on a personal note for the students about, the value of studying abroad, traveling, not just for coursework, as we mentioned earlier, but just on a personal note?
Dr. Ramona can go first in this one.
Yes,
Am I putting y'all on the spot?
So I mentioned this in my previous recording when we were recording the kind of a basic understanding of the program in Morocco. I'm not from here, obviously. I come from Romania, and I studied French there, and then I went abroad. So first I worked abroad, or I did internships abroad, and then I came to North America to do my graduate work. So for me, especially knowing that I'm coming from Romania, and I don't know how much you know about world geopolitics, but Romania used to be a communist country. Growing up in such an environment, our goal or our dream was to, be able to get out, see the world, see what's on the other side. So for me, that was my dream, and my dream came true, and I've been traveling ever since. So my experience traveling and living in other places was always positive. I realized that even if we come from different backgrounds, we have different religions, different worldviews, we are all the same. We are all human. We all want to be together with other people. We want to learn about each other. So I think any experience where you get out of your comfort zone, as Dr. Ahmed said, and you meet people from other cultures, are also opportunities to understand yourself better and understand your upbringing better. Especially if you go to a place like Morocco, or a culture that is, I would say, quite different from a Western point of view. I think it's even a bigger opportunity for you to to see what makes you who you are, and discovering the other cultures and discovering their point of view that is in a way not different than yours.
Awesome. Thank you. That was remarkable. I'm so happy that we as a university have you here. Okay, Dr. Beckett.
I don't have much to add after what Ramona said. I will tell the students, like, I remember what came to my mind while Ramona was speaking. I did a trip while I was in college in 2002 to Saudi Arabia for 2 weeks. I was like visiting one of the holy places there, and it was a school trip. And believe it or not, it was one of the best experience that I've ever had in my life. And I still remember like a lot of details about it, even it was a long time ago, meeting new people, traveling. And we did it by the cruise. So we took a ship, so we didn't fly or anything. So like we were 2 days in the Red Sea from between the Suez Canal and going to Jeddah. Although it came like with some challenges, but it was like one of the best trips I've ever had, best experiences. We had fun moments over there. So like that was a successful journey or a successful trip that I did. And this is why I encourage everyone, hey, just go for study abroad and also surround yourself with good people and during that trip. So you can create these good memories in your life and you can share it with maybe your kids in the future, your spouses or significant others as well.
Okay, well, thank you so much. That's wonderful. So what I'd like to do now is just give you a little bit of, insight information from the office. But again, don't forget, if you've got questions, we'll go ahead and answer those, toward the end, or you can interrupt. I don't mind. I'm going to be scheduling with both of your professors. Well, the orientations actually have already been scheduled. That information is located on the Moodle site. If you have not been added to the Moodle site, please make sure that you let me know. All I need is your ULID so we can add you, and that's where our application is. In order to apply for the program, you must submit your application from the Moodle site, the UL Study Abroad Moodle site. Keep in mind that new Moodle is now in place at the university for all of your academic courses. But for the non-academic courses, those were the last to be transferred over because they wanted all your academic courses in line for the fall. So right now we are still in old Moodle. You would access the UL Study Abroad Moodle site at mdl2.louisiana.edu. If you forget that, email me. I'll be happy to send that to you so you have it for your reference. We're probably going to stay with old Moodle for now, but because we don't want to transfer midway, but we are going to be switching completely next year. But for now, y'all are going to be going to that Moodle site. The application is located there for you to submit it, and then you would submit your $500 deposit. There is a PowerPoint presentation both on the Moodle site as well as on the website from the student cashier's office that gives you step-by-step instructions of how to make the payments, because you are paying in advance of your courses. There are no courses in the system for you to be charged, but you must pay in advance. So you will go to your ULink account, but you're not going to be paying on your statement of account. There's an area where you're going to pay in the deposit tab area. But again, the specific instructions, slide by slide, is located on both our website and Moodle site. If you can't find it, it's PowerPoint, you let me know and I can send it to you directly. So you would pay the $500 deposit. That deposit does go toward the total cost of the program. So that $500 is deducted from the cost of the program. In addition to that, we were very excited to share with our students this year that we are able to give all of our participants of all of our faculty-led programs an additional $500. What happened was our programs did not go the last 2 years because of COVID, and the university did receive money from the CARES Act, which was in turn given as a benefit to the study abroad programs because we hadn't had programs the last 2 years. We thought, what a wonderful idea, wonderful opportunity to share that some of that money with our students this year, because you all have struggled the last year or two academically. And we thought, what a wonderful opportunity. So there's going to be a $500 deduction for all students for your first installment payment in February. Now, some students ask, well, why don't you put it toward the deposit? Well, we kind of have to get students to commit first. So, I need to know who is serious about going on our programs. So, but again, that first initial $500 does go toward the cost of the program. And then you get a $500 deduction on your first installment. All of those pieces of information are going to be provided to our students in the early part of the spring semester, where it has the breakdown of payments for each of the programs. Naturally, for those of you interested in Morocco, would get that breakdown and what the cost would be, once we break it up. Now, in addition to that, though, we are still going to be providing our students with a scholarship opportunity through the office. On average, we usually give out about $10,000 in scholarships each year. The awards range in amounts from about $500 to $1,000, but it depends upon how the committee decides to make those awards. but you're eligible to apply for the scholarships if you are a participant in the program, you've applied, you've paid the deposit of 500, and you have a minimum grade point average of a 2.8. And then you can apply for those scholarships. I don't know what the amounts are going to be. I don't know how many are going to be awarded because I'm not on that committee. I can't be because I get to know the students pretty well. So it is a separate committee that does review that. So we have these scholarship opportunities, and I think Dr. Beckett might share something about his office as well. But keep in mind that students who do go on our programs also have the opportunity to maybe take out financial aid loans through the financial aid office. The contact information of the counselor who specifically works with our study abroad students, her contact information is located on the website as well. Keep in mind, she's very busy. She deals with the whole university campus. So sometimes she can't get to emails right away. But if you feel that it's taking her a little bit of time, just let me know and I'll try and act as a go-between, for you in relation to that. We are going to have meetings in the spring. And the first one's going to be basically an online meeting because all of that first meeting is about paperwork and we submit it online. So it's going to be something similar to this of what we're doing today, but I'm going to guide you through those forms. And all of those meeting dates are listed in the Moodle site. And then we're hoping to have a social in February for everybody. So it's kind of a casual meeting initially. And then we're going to have in-person meetings in March and April where both of your professors are going to assist you in preparing for departure about what to pack, what not to pack, currency exchange, the use of credit and debit cards, laundry, communication with family and friends. All of that will be covered. And in addition to, more in-depth information about your courses, that's going to be covered in that spring semester and the latter meetings there. So that kind of gives you an overview of where the office stands with things. I do have opportunities where you can schedule a meeting with me individually. If you'd like to set up a meeting with me, you just go to our website at studyabroad.louisiana.edu. And in the right sidebar, there's an area where I'm scheduling virtual meetings with students. Those seem to be working very well for students because it's convenient. After this meeting, if you decide you want to meet with me individually, you are more than welcome to do so as well. So I think that kind of sums up. Did I forget something that I may need to share with them? No? Okay. Did you want to share something a little bit about the scholarships that they might be eligible for in your department, maybe?
So we have the Arabic studies or Arabic studies scholarships. So in the past 2 years, we have awarded about 7 scholarships to students who declared Arabic as a minor. And each recipient, they received $500. And that it went through their account. So whatever this happened. So for this year, to encourage more students to go for study abroad, so students who declare or claim Arabic as a minor, they are eligible to apply for this and the Arabic scholarships. However, we're not sure how much will be awarded because also that's a decision is going to be decided based on the committee meetings and whatever decision that they make, how much will be decided during that meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So
and also, I don't know if we mentioned the humanities course goes towards the minor in Arabic studies.
That's good to know. I did not know that. So that helps a lot. So and as Dr. Beckett mentioned, it is an application process for those additional scholarships. Do know that they are competitive. So there's no guarantee that you'll get one. And even if you do, it's not going to cover the entire cost of the program. But I strongly encourage anyone who's eligible to apply to do so, because if you are one of those fortunate ones to receive one, it's a great opportunity for you. But do know that, other students will be applying. And that we want to make sure that students who are considering studying abroad, that you're playing it safe and knowing, what it is that you can reasonably afford as well in reference to participating in our study abroad programs. So make sure that, you've worked out your finances and that you feel comfortable, about the decision that you're making to study abroad. So, okay. Do y'all have any questions at this time? No? Okay. Well, again, if you do have other questions, don't hesitate to contact me, contact your professors about the coursework. I'm thrilled that y'all attended today's meeting. And if you've got questions about the process, you encounter a kink through the process, just let me know. That's what I'm here for, to make sure that those questions are answered. Okay.
So just to make sure that to tell the students, if you want to apply, you can go ahead to the study abroad program, to the website, and then you go to the students tab, and maybe we can show them this path, like how to apply.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm not real tech savvy, so bear with me.
It's okay. I can share the screen and I can show
Let's
them.
see. Oh, no, I can't. Let's see. Oh, no.
While you're
Yes,
doing that, can I say that, they can always contact us by email and ask specific questions if something,
Absolutely.
if they've been thinking about something and we didn't cover it, you can always contact us.
Right. Oh, wait, this is the wrong one. Let me see. Let's see if it's going to allow me to do so. All right. Are y'all able to see my screen right now?
I am.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so this is our study abroad website, studyabroad.louisiana.edu. And under the programs tab, you go there for the information about the program. And right here, there is Morocco. It has the, a general overview of the program itself, the dates, the cost of the program, that type of thing. Now, some students will inquire about, what will happen with airfare. Usually what we do for this type of program is we'll get the faculty to book and reserve their airfare, and then we share that flight information with the students. So you can book that same flight. And then right here, you can see the courses that you would want to take. This is a video recording that we did earlier this semester that shares more information about our programs. And then of course, here are the courses. Then under the Students tab, this information is going to be helpful to you in reference to your plans and knowing what you, what you need to do. Here it tells you how to apply, that you do want to be a part of the Moodle program. Oh, let me backtrack one thing. Under the Students tab here, there is an I'm interested area. If you are not on our Moodle site, you complete this form, and it's going to send an email automatically to me, and I can add you to our Moodle site. And just know that we do need your ULID to add you to the Moodle site. And then at that point, you will have access to the application. And then this is where the financial aid contact information is. Her name is, do I have it? Let's see, right here. The person you need to speak with is Miss Teresa Domingue. It's pronounced Teresa, but her name is spelled like Teresa. And she is the counselor who works with our students for financial aid. And I would recommend that you visit these two areas as well. The cost and expenses by program. It gives you a breakdown of what's included, what is not included with Morocco here, the information there, along with some information about trip cancellation insurance, tuition exemptions. They are not able to be used for study abroad programs because we are a special program. And then here, the payment policies and deadlines. This gives you the breakdown of what's expected of you in reference to payments, making the payments. I mentioned earlier about the PowerPoint presentation regarding the detailed step-by-step instructions about how to make the payments. That PowerPoint is right here. So it's under making study abroad payments. And then here is our refund policy here. So please make sure that you read over this information as well. Okay. So was there other information you wanted me to share, Ahmed?
I don't think so. You covered pretty much everything, Pat. Thank you so much.
Oh, you are very welcome. Okay, I'm going to stop my share at this point. Let's see. Okay, so any other needs from the students? Okay, well, y'all, thank you for your time today. Let me know if you have questions. Happy to meet with you one-on-one. Okay,
Thank you, Pat.
thank you. Bye, y'all. Y'all have a
Thank you
wonderful
everyone
day.
for joining today, and I'll send you guys the link for how to apply, so make it easier for your life, so you can go from there to the application straight. Okay?
All right.
And I will feel free to reach out to me or Ramona or Pat about any questions that you have.
Y'all take care and good luck with finals and final projects.
Okay.
Bye, y'all.
Well,
Thank
assalamu.
you. Bye.
Bye. Assalamu.
Ma salama.
It was good seeing you, James. He just left. Yeah, he finished all the programs before. If you have a minute, Pat, after you finish, I just want to discuss one thing with you.